Magnus Carlsen is a Norwegian chess grandmaster and the reigning world chess champion. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest chess players in the history of the game. Carlsen was born on November 30th, 1990 in Tønsberg, Norway. He became a chess grandmaster at the age of 13, making him one of the youngest grandmasters in history. Carlsen's playing style is characterized by his deep understanding of the game, exceptional endgame skills, and the ability to outmaneuver opponents in complex positions. He has held the title of World Chess Champion since 2013 and has defended it successfully in subsequent title matches. And while he usually wins most of his games quite easily, there's one match that stands out. It happened in a bar in Oslo, Norway, where a regular chess player wanted to challenge the famous champion. At the time, Magnus Carlsen was not at his best. Having narrowly won the World Chess Championship against Sergei Karjakin, some top players like Vladimir Kramnik have criticized his recent performances. So when they shook hands at the start of the game, it marked an exciting battle between a chess legend and an ambitious amateur. This is the King's Knight. The game began with Magnus Carlsen's opening move, advancing his white pawn to e4. In response, his opponent, whom we'll refer to as A, mirrored with their pawn to e5. As the game unfolded, Carlsen's white knight moved to f3, and A moved their black knight to c6, making the initial steps of the game and setting the stage for what's known as the Ruy Lopez opening. Carlsen furthered his strategy by advancing his white bishop to b5, while A continued by moving their black knight to e7. As the game progressed, Carlsen introduced an interesting dynamic by advancing his pawn to c3, shaping a distinctive V-shaped pawn structure on the chessboard. In response, A played their part by moving their pawn to a6, creating a visually dynamic and evolving board configuration. In response to the unfolding situation, Carlsen tactically repositioned his bishop to a4, while A continued by making another pawn move, advancing their pawn to h6. Carlsen's strategic skills shone through as he took a step forward by advancing his pawn to d4, initiating a pawn exchange. During this exchange, A moved their knight to g6, a move that was considered a mistake, as it enabled Carlsen to gain control of the central squares with the knight position at c3, an unconventional position for the knight. A then chose to move their bishop to b4, a tactical maneuver, prompting Magnus Carlsen to castle. The black bishop captured the white knight on c3, and Carlsen recaptured with a pawn while A castled. With these moves, Magnus Carlsen found himself in a strong position, with his pawns firmly controlling the central squares of the chessboard, setting the stage for a strategic battle ahead. The advantageous position allowed Magnus Carlsen to plan an attack, moving his white bishop to c2 and applying pressure on the black knight stationed at g6. In response, A shifted their bishop to g4, prompting Carlsen's queen to move to e1. With a commanding position on the king side, Carlsen was in control, and the black bishop on g4 faced imminent danger. In reaction to the threat, the black knight moved to d7, and the f4 pawn advanced to f5, increasing the pressure. To escape the looming danger, the black knight moved to e5, seeking a safer position on the chessboard. With a composed demeanor, Magnus Carlsen continued his assault by advancing his pawn to h3, and A responded by sliding the black bishop to h5. Carlsen's white pawn then advanced to g4, providing the opportunity to capture the black bishop in exchange for two pawns. After a series of exchanges, the black pawn on f5 moved to f6, though an optimal move would have been queen to g3. A seized the chance to move their black queen to e5, posing an immediate threat of checkmate on h2. In response, Carlsen's bishop slid down to f4 to block this threat, but it came at a cost of allowing A to move their queen to h5. The game continued as the white pawn captured the black pawn on g7, and the black rook swiftly moved to e8 to avoid being captured. In response, white's queen shifted to g3, creating potential threats. The black knight then jumped to f6, maintaining its presence on the board. However, in a critical turn of events, Magnus Carlsen made a pivotal mistake by moving his knight to f5. This move inadvertently exposed an opportunity for A to capture a free pawn and simultaneously target the white queen. Magnus tried to recover by moving the queen to g4, but it turned out to be another strategic blunder. deepening the complexity of the match. As the game reached a critical point with all momentum lost, Magnus Carlsen found himself in a dire situation. Recognizing the inevitable, Magnus made the tough decision to resign immediately. With a resigned expression, he extended his hand, and the two players shook hands, signifying the end of the match. Magnus, a chess legend, appeared visibly embarrassed by the turn of events, a rare sight for a player of his caliber. If you enjoyed watching The King's Knight, please leave a comment, a like, and a subscribe, and we hope to see you in the next video.